Hi friends, Rachel here with Journal with Ray, and thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Today we're doing a different kind of video. We're still doing a plan with me, but we're doing a different kind of plan with me. Usually on this channel I do monthly plan with me's, and once in a while I will show a weekly, but I'm not doing either of those this time. This time I am showing you how to make a plant care spread. Last weekend, my partner and I went to a local nursery and we purchased 4 houseplants for our apartment. It is really exciting because I've never had a houseplant that is like my responsibility. I did kill a cactus once, like freshman year of university, but we're not going to talk about that. So the best way I thought to keep track of everything I need to do for these plants is to make a bullet journal spread. So last night my partner and I looked up everything that we need to do for these plants to make sure they live happy and healthy lives in our apartment. And so I wrote down what light conditions they need and what water conditions. I will go back and research plant fertilizers. I didn't really think about that last night and it didn't really occur to me until after I filmed this video that that was information I would need. So don't worry if you're stressing out not seeing any information about fertilizer, don't stress, I will look into that, I promise. I don't have any more room in my July section of my bullet journal. I am all filled up and I've already planned August. If you haven't seen my August plan with me, click the little link up in the corner here, or I'll also have it in the description if you want to check that out. But I am putting this in my August section because I'm out of room in July. So here I am making it fit with my August theme, which is an internet theme. And so here I am just drawing out some rounded like browser window looking square rectangle things. These have rounded corners to look like an Apple computer, and then they have like the X and the expand and all those buttons in the top left corner. You might have noticed that I am freehanding some of my lines and using a ruler for other lines. I don't have a really good reason for that, if I'm being very honest. I have noticed that I am really good at freehanding shorter lines as opposed to longer lines. I think it has something to do with not having to move my entire arm down to keep my hand straight as I draw it. I'm not quite sure. But here I'm using a ruler because that's easier for me to draw a straight line. And so I have 4 new houseplants, and so I have 4 rows and 3 columns. The left column will be the plant name, both the common and the scientific name. The middle column will be the watering schedule, and the far right column will be the light conditions. To ink in these lines, I am using a Pilot Juice .38 pen. If you're not familiar with me or my bullet journaling style, the Pilot Juice is my absolute favorite pen in the entire world. For me, nothing beats it. And so I use these to ink in most of my lines and do all of my general writing. Here, I'm looking for my Tombow Food & Nosuke soft tip. I pulled out my 2 hard tips at first, of course, it's the last one that I grabbed is the one I need. So here I am just inking in my header, it just says plant care, and this lettering is my standard cursive calligraphy. I'm going to throw in a shameless plug really quick. If you like my calligraphy and you want it for your own bullet journal, I do have a monthly header printable available in my Etsy shop, and I am working on a weekly header one as well. I'll have my Etsy shop linked down below so you can check it out in shop. It is a one-time purchase and you can use the printable as many times as you want, print it out 100 times, a million times, whatever you want. So if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. Alright, looks like on the screen I am all done inking in my lines and I am just erasing my pencil marks. And now we are going to go in and color in those top bars. This is a Tombow dual-ended brush pen in the color number 942. This is also a staple on my channel if you're new. This is one of my absolute most favorite colors. It's like this gorgeous tan beige color and I've used it almost every single month in a theme. It's not one of my colors this month, but it matched better with the plant vibe I was going for this page. Something I've noticed a lot just with doodling my August theme is that I have a really hard time coloring in a straight line. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like bringing these lines down to fill in that entire space is like really hard. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be hard, but keeping the line straight is difficult, I found, at least for me. And so I have to like go back in and fill in the gaps that I missed, which usually are around like the edges. It's not a big deal, it's just something I've noticed. But I think it still looks fine, even though like there are a couple places where the strokes overlap. Here I am just cutting a piece of washi tape to make it thinner. Changing the size or the shape of washi tape is one of my favorite ways to add some dimension to a page. And so I am just going to make it a little bit shorter here. I like the torn look for the edges instead of like a clean cut look. And I am making the vertical line on the tape match up with the line I've drawn on the side here. Took a couple tries, I put it down and then realized that the top part also wasn't lined up, but the bottom was, like it was crooked, and I also wanted to make it a little bit shorter. So here I am just fumbling around with this small piece of tape, trying to get it in the exact position that I wanted in for this spread. Somehow I got it exactly where I wanted it without having to look like directly at it in front of my face, so I call that a win. Here I am putting down this gorgeous houseplant sticker from Paper Minty Studio. I've talked about them a couple times on my channel, but I am a PR rep for them. So if you're interested in purchasing from their shop, I have a discount code which is Rachel10. If you enter that at checkout at their Etsy shop, you'll get money off. So go check them out. I love this sticker so much. It's the perfect color scheme and the perfect size for this box. I didn't plan that. It just really worked out, and I'm very thankful because it's beautiful. I will also use some of the smaller botanical stickers to kind of frame the larger rectangle that I've drawn. One will go in the corner and one will go on the side. You'll see what I mean once I put them down. I'm actually super stoked that this spread turned out as lovely as it did. Sometimes I just don't plan anything before I go into a video, and this was one of those videos. I had like the basic shapes down for the squares and like how big I wanted the boxes to be, but I didn't plan any of the decorations. All I knew is that I wanted a sticker in the small box, and that was it. And so I'm really happy that the placement of these stickers just turned out really nice, and the colors worked out really well too. Also, side note, my upstairs neighbors have been walking around for a little bit, and the ceiling / their floor is a little bit thin, so I can hear their footsteps. So I'm really sorry if you can hear like the creaking of the ceiling / their floor. I am really sorry if you can hear that. I'm doing the best I can to cut it out for you guys. We are almost to the more practical part of this video, which is how to take care of plants. So I'm just going to erase all of the little markings I made with pencil before I started the video, and then I'm going to pull up this little sheet that my partner and I made last night, and then I'm going to fill in these boxes. You'll get to watch me write a little bit, which I'm sure is super fascinating. But I will talk through which plants I have and what they need, so if you're thinking about getting some houseplants, this might be of interest to you. I'm also going to add stock photos of what each of these plants looks like in the top left-hand corner of the screen. I know that personally, I really like knowing what plants look like when I'm watching videos, and if it were me watching this, I would want to know what these plants look like, so maybe the photo will be helpful to some of you watching. So the first plant I'm writing in here is the cat palm. This is the plant I am most excited for personally, and it is this big green leafy plant, and it is just gorgeous. Based on the research that my partner and I did last night, the cat palm needs to be watered every like 5 to 7 days-ish, and it likes to moist soil. And for light, the cat palm likes bright, indirect light. We have this in the corner of our living room next to the TV, and there's no window directly by it, so it has some nice indirect light. This plant is also cat safe, and I believe it's dog safe, but double check if you have a dog. But this is a great option if you have cats that like to play with plants or cannot stop biting fake plants. So this is one that we got to make sure that our future furry friend will not, be poisoned from a plant. The second plant that we got is called the false Aurelia. I'm not sure how to say the second word. I think it's Aurelia, maybe, possibly. But this is a really funky houseplant. It's really like pointy, like it's kind of spiky, like I don't know, it's just really funky, and we fell in love with it right away. And it's also cat safe, which is great. So this is a great addition if you have a pet, and it's just really cool to look at, and I guess it can grow to be a couple feet tall, which is really exciting. Again, according to the research that my partner and I did, you need to water the false Aurelia when there is more than an inch of dry soil at the top of the pot, and then this plant also likes bright, moderate light. To check if your plant needs to be watered, you will have to get a little dirty, stick your finger in the soil, and see if it's dry or not, but that's not really a big deal. The third houseplant that we got is called Devil's Ivy. It's also called Golden Pothos, I think. And this is a really, really pretty, like, hanging plant. It's not like a rule that you have to hang it, but it does, like, cascade trail down. And so we have it at the very top of our like 6-foot bookshelf, and we have it hanging off the side. It's not very long right now, it will get longer, but we'll keep it pruned so that our future cat can't get to it, because this one is toxic to cats. And we didn't know that when we got it. But I think if we keep it, away and make sure that they won't get it, that it will be okay. But just a heads up, this one is not cat safe. But it is very pretty on a bookshelf, I will say that. And the last plant that we got is a succulent, and it's called Trailing Jade. We got one that's really, really small. It's like in a 2-inch pot. I think it was just propagated or just grown. It's very young, but it will look very, very pretty once it's an adult plant. Adult plant, that's the term. When it's like a full-grown plant, it'll look like the one in the photo I had on the screen. The Trailing Jade needs to be watered every 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the soil. If the soil is dry completely, then you need to water it. Kind of like the false Aurelia, you need to stick your finger in there and see if the soil is dry. And for the light conditions, you need to avoid direct light. We have it in a partly shaded, partly sunny area. Hopefully that will be a good spot for it. And if you want to have a cat or you already have a cat, the Trailing Jade is cat safe. If any of you have these plants at home already and you have any care tips, please, please, please comment them down below. General houseplant tips are also appreciated because this is like my first houseplant like family. Like these are the first plants that I've had to take care of like by myself. So that would be great if you could give me some tips if you have any. But here's the finished spread. I'm considering some washi tape here on the side, and I do go for this golden foiled leafy washi tape. It's one of my faves. I'm going to add this here at the end, and then my spread is all done. Thank you so much for tuning into this video about plant care. It's been a lot of fun chatting about plants with you guys. I'm very excited. These are my first new plants. But if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you know every time I upload. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, and thank you for being here. This has been Rachel with Journal with Ray, and I'll catch you in the next one.